Morning. I'd like to tell you I just woke up, but I didn't. I just had breakfast though, so that's close. This is day one of the 90-day web adventure, and I just got home last night from Atlanta, and we'll be talking a bit about what happened there over the course of the next probably couple of weeks at least, because it plays a big part of what is coming down the pike. And today, though, I want to talk about parameters, setting parameters. One of the things that I have to start this adventure with is laying out what the next 90 days is going to actually look like. So that's what I'm going to spend some time doing today. And I'm giving myself a couple of days to do it. See, because for me, my work schedule is very finite. I have about 3 hours a day that I can focus on actually working my business. And the reason for that is because I have a 5-year-old at home who goes to kindergarten, and while he's at class, that's when I do the bulk of my work. And now I try to sneak work in other places. Like right now, he's downstairs watching Dora the Explorer while I am shooting this video. But the dishwasher's running, and we're in the new house, and my parameters aren't really that much different from yours right now. So I want to be very clear on, I don't have any special magical things that allow me to accomplish more than maybe you would. And so while I don't have a full-time job that's inhibiting me from, working on my business, I do have a full-time job in that I have a house, I have a child, I have other things that need my attention. And so I'm really only having about 3 hours a day that I can really devote to focusing on the work that needs to be done to get this project off the ground in the next 90 days. So I'm giving myself the next couple of days to work on building the marketing plan, the launch plan, if you were, the calendar of events for this web adventure. And like I said, everything I'm doing is pretty much in real time. So you're seeing stuff almost as it happens. And I want to show you today why my parameters are such. I talked a little bit about my son, but also I want to show you my workstation. And then here it is. This is my laptop on my dining room table. Real sexy. Nothing fancy, nothing outrageous, just me and my computer. And so that's what I have to work with. But I also have other things that are in the way. And I'm going to kind of take you on a field trip. And I don't know how light or dark it is in here, so if you guys can see. This is my living room right now. And it is floor to ceiling with boxes from the old house. We have obviously not moved in yet. So that's another one of the things that I have to work on while I am home during the day. And I want to give you guys a very clear understanding that I'm not devoting 16 hours a day to building my business and doing all of this stuff. I want you to see what's really going on here. So for me, I got about 3 hours a day to really work. And because I also have other things I have to do, for example, today I have to write the newsletter and get that out. I have a blog post that I need to work on, and I have another blog post for the Direct Sales Classroom blog that I need to work on and get ready to go. So I have other things besides this great web launch that have to be done. I still have work that has to be done and revenue that has to be generated and all that. So you're going to get to see some of that, but I want you to know clearly that this isn't just me waving a magic wand and getting a bunch of other people to do my work for me. Because I don't want you to have any excuses. I don't want you to say, well, I can't do that because. You absolutely can. You absolutely can do. There's nothing that I'm doing that you can't do. And that's one of the big reasons why I'm doing this, is because I want it to be very clear to you that you don't have to get up extra early and put on lots of makeup to shoot a video. God knows I didn't. You don't have to have some fancy workstation. You don't have to have all of the right, perfect, exactly wonderful things. What you need is a plan. And so I'm taking the next couple of days I'm going to give myself 2 to 3 hours of focused time to really work out what the marketing plan, what the launch schedule is going to look like, and then I'll be sharing that with you. One more thing about this adventure. Not every day are you going to get a video from me, and I want to be clear about that up front. Sometimes I'll write, sometimes I won't. On Tuesdays, I'm planning to post interviews that don't necessarily have anything to do with the Webadventure. And that's part of what I'm already doing on the Business Action Hero blog. So I want to stay consistent in some things. The Business Action Hero newsletter will continue to go out. Those kinds of things aren't going to stop just because I'm doing something else. And that's because for you, life doesn't stop because you decide you want to launch a new business or have some great new idea or want to try something else. And I wanted this to be very transparent. The other thing that, this is just the best way to kick off something new. My 5-year-old is sick today. So he may not be going to kindergarten today. And that hour of focused time that I really wanted to spend on working on this 90-day plan may not happen if I have to tend to him. So that's kind of what I'm up against to just get things started. And I recognize that you're going to have obstacles in your way too, and that's okay. The only thing you can do is what you can do. And if it means it takes you 5 days to put together a plan, then it takes you 5 days. We need to stop trying to rush everything. And one of the things that we hear a lot is fail fast, fail often, fail forward. And I don't like failing, and most people don't like failing. And I understand where it comes from. It's the idea of getting out of perfectionist mode, getting out of that you have to do everything, it's got to be 100% right or I'm not going to do it kind of a thing. We need to not be there. But at the same time, we need to not be in such a rush to slap something together and throw it up there that it sucks, quite frankly. Because if you take a little bit more time and nurture something so that it can be enjoyable and good and quality for your people, it's worth the extra time. There's a difference between making something quality and being a perfectionist. And we want to strive for excellence, not perfection. So put together something that's excellent and don't try to do it quite so fast. That's been my lesson for the last couple years. I've put a lot of products out on the market, and this year I launched 4 projects that I thought were pretty good, pretty solid. But I was in such a rush to get them to market, I really wasn't listening to what my audience was asking for, and they didn't sell. I have 4 really great programs that are loaded with wonderful content and all that stuff, but they're not selling because it's not what my audience wanted at the time. So I'm not going to scrap them completely. They're going to sit there and wait for the right moment to come back to the horizon. But because I rushed to push something out and didn't take the time to really connect with my audience, my tribe, my community, whatever word works for you, I've got these really great things that aren't marketable to the people who are listening to me right now. And I don't want that for you. I want you to really take the time to be clear on who you're trying to serve, what your message is to try and get out to people, and how to do that effectively. And that's really what this 90-day series is about, because in light of what happened this weekend, I'm shifting directions in a big, big way. Someplace I probably should have been a long time ago and just didn't have the courage to go there. And we'll talk more about that in future videos. But the idea I want to leave you with today is you've got to have a plan. You need to create a reasonable timeline. And reasonable has to be based on what's reasonable for you rather than what some guru from on high says is the way to do it. So for me, that's 90 days. For you, that might be 6 months or a year or 5 years. If you have a plan, work the plan. If you don't have a plan, get a plan before you start trying to work, because that's when you end up slapping stuff together and just throwing stuff out in the marketplace, and people don't buy. There's such a preponderance of stuff now, people won't buy. You've got to have clarity on what you're trying to do, who you're trying to do it for, and what you want your outcome to be. And so that's what I'm going to spend the next couple of days working on for this 90-day challenge, and I'll report back as soon as I have more information for you.